something.
They might not have it streamed yet.
We should have them.
Well, welcome back to the SVSU Esports. Now we are currently live. Having some minor technical difficulties that we just had to iron out a little bit. You might have seen the test stream that we had just a couple of minutes ago, but we are getting everything set so they can get into game 3. Currently the score is SVSU 1, while
Getting a screen share.
Emory Henry is also 1, so it's tied 1-1 currently, getting on with the third game.
We were already in there. Yes, we are on the third map. Circuit Royale.
So Emory is the attacking team while SVSU is defending first.
Emory pushed up really far here already through the first half of the map. Maybe a little bit tough there. See a lot of similar characters on both sides. See Sigma, the Widowmaker. See the... Maybe that's all. That's where, I guess, for the similarities end. Lots of damage coming through for the Sigma ult. Getting up lots of kills there. SVSU managed to grab their footing, it looks like, a little bit more.
Now this part of the map is especially good for defenders as they have that advantage of the really high ground, in the words of Obi-Wan.
The really high ground, of course.
The really high ground, as it provides a lot of sightline and just pure damage that you can rain on top of the enemies.
Very good stuff there, and of course with that high ground and a little bit longer sight lines, we have Widowmaker being a much more popular character because you can snipe from a very far distance there.
No one can hide from my sight.
Stuff, got the Widowmaker ult, allows your team to see through walls for a bit. Might not be as good as you would expect, but it is a lot to deal with.
We can see SVSU's Widowmaker playing with a cheeky angle there right in between the panels, allowing them to hit people but also not be hit.
Oh, going for the shots there, and there it is. The Widow 1v1. SVSU winning that. We do go down, however. Be a little bit of a, I think we need 4v4 in the fight right now. Trying to push up this hill, that's going to be tough for them. Have the back east window. All damage that goes to that window is multiplied by 2. As well as all the healing. You have the Sojourn ult, as you can see, getting a whole bunch of damage, finding kills there, Grumpy Monkey, with all of the damage, finding every pick that they needed. Another repelling down a couple of minutes here from where they were initially at. Emory struggling to get any progress on that payload. Although SVSU did have to invest a lot of ults to get there. We have 2 more for Emory. We have the Soldier and the Nano. That is a Nano Visor. Diana can give the nano boost to one of her teammates, which makes them do more damage. I believe shoot faster, take less damage. Gives that to the auto-aiming soldier ult. That's very difficult. Here finds the kill onto the Ana. There goes your shot at nano visor for this team fight. And oh, no, the res does come back up. We'll have enough for it. Lots of damage, barely managing to save there. Nemo's kind of back up a little bit, pushed up very far. Here comes the nano visor, all of the damage, but he's getting smothered by Nemo. Tank extraordinaire, pushed all the way up, using his kinetic grasp to eat all the damage, as well as his shield. Although while he has to focus all of his attention there, the rest of SVSU will fall. Emory managing to push probably all the way to the second checkpoint. You can see the little diamonds on the top there along that line. Those are checkpoints, and the attacking team gets more time added to their clock to push it further every checkpoint that they get to. And to this third one, they also get a closer spawn point.
Now we do see the McCree getting swapped onto by SVSU. As you see, this map is very tight space, so the enemies do have to gather quite a bit, and with these long hauls allows him to get a very clean high noon.
2 kills from Pure. The Cassidy right revolver is just brutal. That thing can do so much damage. Big with the kill there onto All Schmitty. Well, finding some, pushing up all the way towards spawn. Emory having to be playing all the way on the back foot. Now this is a little bit tough for the attackers to push out. Their spawn is right there, so if they die, they get to come back pretty fast. But defenders usually can get a couple of seconds of bullying there from that position. SVSU going back up towards the high ground. Again, it's so important as you can back off and hide away. Just a little bit of geometry. The Sigma Flux coming in, finding 2. On the way down, they'll take half of their health pool. SVSU has to back up so they can get healing from a safer position. Emory's Sigma all pushed up all the way to get punished for it. The rest of his team trying to push the payload or maybe find a flank, not going to quite do it.
Looks like Emory's just trying to push past them now, as it appears to be working, but they do get severely punished for it.
Going as far as they can, just trying to push it. Well, the Sigma stalls up top. SVSU will come back to this choke point, get a little bit more damage off, and remain on the high ground. It did work for them for that fight. I'm only worried about what happens when Emory sends one or two to push the payload.
Can see Emory swap to the Junkrat. As I said, this is a very close-knit place, so those grenades provide a lot of value.
Couple of hallways to Baptiste. Here comes Grumpy Monkey with the Sojourn ult to get the big railgun right clicks there. Lots of damage, finding enough, but Emory finding plenty too. They're going to be able to push this cart, just the Junkrat and the Sigma. Lots of range damage with only SVSU's own Sigma there to get things done. Pushing around the final corner. Emory's in a really good spot here. They do not have a lot of time on their clock. They will have to push as far as they can with just that little bit of time.
We can see SVSU's Cassidy has his ult up, so Emory does have to be very careful with how they push this, as they are in almost a straight line of trying to push this card.
Ooh, going for the ult there just to get everybody low and stall things out for a little bit. Down to 20 seconds on the clock for Emory, although lots of kills coming out for them. They don't have much left. Here comes the ult. Here comes the nano visors. Lots of damage onto the Sigma, on everybody else. Although we have the Zenyatta ult on the side of SVSU to keep everybody alive. Heck of a team fight up there. All the kills coming in from all of SVSU. They only have a Junkrat trying to stall the last little bit. Emory managing to push almost all the way to the end. It'll be very difficult for SVSU to match that. That is a tough thing to ask of a team. Normally, the first part of the map tends to be, as you saw, there were 2 checkpoints, so everything is broken up into thirds. Usually the first third is pretty attacker-sided, the last third is pretty defender, the middle is pretty average. So most teams will be able to get it somewhere in the middle section. If they do really well, they'll get it somewhere in the third, but probably won't finish it. And most teams will get it at least out of the first section there.
Now, at this upcoming section, we can see why both teams pick Sigma, as that little bridge right down there allows him to bounce grenades through underneath where the cart usually is, while also placing a shield on that corner so his teammates can poke their heads out, shoot, and go back without being in any threat of being killed.
Unlike most of the rest of the map, this first little section here has a lot of open sight lines. Again, from that bridge, from this high ground, this is where defenders like to be. They kind of get to shift around with a little bit of indoors with that sign right there. You can kind of peek around corners, and it's very tough for attackers to get through there. Once they get through, it's a little bit easier. As you saw on the right, there was a little bit more that they can do, but this first point, as you can see, SVSU setting up for that solid, or Emory setting up for that solid defense here.
We can see Emory running almost the same comp that they just ran on attack. Looks like they're favoring that AoE damage, just all-out damage around everybody, rather than SVSU here, where they're looking for that long-range, one-shot kill damage.
This is a little bit interesting. Normally, Widow is mirrored here almost all the time. This is one of Widow's best maps, the just stay at range and snipe, but going for a little bit more mid-range damage. See, that is what we're talking about. You give Widow any sightline like that, that's going to be a kill for them almost 9 times out of 10 if you give them enough time.
You can see Emory falling back to that bridge where the Sigma is most likely to play around for with the team.
Some damage coming through, but SVSU just gets to slowly push up. They can't really do anything against that Widow. They have to stay behind the shield or lest they get their heads blown off. As well, Sojourn is a little bit more range with that right click. Once you charge up the railgun, it does so much damage. The Junkrat trap managed to find Nemo, but not getting anything off of it. Here we see, SVSU, even though the defense does have that really strong position, again, something about it, attackers usually do get through this part of the map. Lots of damage coming out there from Pure on the Widow, finding kills when he needs, and finding plenty of body shots just to make the defending team back off. Nemo finding some, Vinny does find some as well. Although Vinny returning back without their Sigma, they're probably good and gone. Comes the Flux finding all the kills, and SVSU pushing up to this first point here without too much struggle.
Now, Emory does have that high ground advantage here, so we're interesting to see how they play it. They have relatively high ultimate charges, so we probably won't be seeing that swap here to a different character.
Of course, when you switch to a new character, you don't keep very much of your ultimate charge, that little circle on the bottom. So it's usually really costly to do so. Instead, men just waiting on it. I think Pure using his ultimate, so they have sight through the walls that will really help them get around this little cubby area over on the left there. Pure getting all of what he needs. You'll be seeing there, Vidi also helping to protect. Pure finding everything. Pure really managing to tear apart this team. I don't necessarily dislike what Emory's done, trying to get a little bit more mid-range damage, but they're getting outranged. They can't find what they need. And getting pushed up here, kind of stagger the spawns. As a team, you want to die together so that you can respawn together.
Now,
oh, that's bad.
Now, unfortunately, SVSU hasn't pushed that second control point, so their spawn didn't swap that fast, so they were coming out stuck in that little garage.
That is why I guess they switched off the Widow, because Pure is just taking care of business. Managing to completely shut out the Widow, and Schmitty already changing after losing that fight.
You can see they're going for a more defensive option with the Torbjorn here, as he does have that molten core that lays out a mat of lava that blocks off relatively any area that the SVSU team wants to step on.
Widow on the flank here, has the sight line, not getting the shots, does get a little bit of damage. Force everybody to look up at her, and she's still here. They'll have to worry about here. She might not be able to get a kill, but that is a constant thorn in your side. You have to keep watching that window. You can't let Pure take his time and line up the shots there. Oh, on the flank, they send Torbjorn. Here he comes, lots of damage. You find it. Sigma Flux from Emory getting lots of damage, but the counter ultimate is Zenyatta keeping everything alive. Lots of ultimates coming out here. Emory invests the nano boost onto the Soldier. Plenty of damage, not many kills. Everybody managing to mostly stay alive, but Soldier, oh, he gets behind the tank, gets the sightline on the enemies. And Nemo can't really do anything to keep everybody alive. He has to just kind of back up. Beautiful defense from Emory, but SVSU still has over 4 minutes on the clock just to put that last little distance. Still plenty possible for them here. You're still on the Widow. No real big team comp changes from the side of SVSU, except in the support line.
Can see that Baptiste and Sojourn all are up, so we could be looking for a pair of that down this giant long hallway that gives them the most value out of results.
Sojourn gets a bunch of big lasers, which do about 180 to the body each, and if you double that damage, that is a kill onto anything that you hit, even if it's not fully charged. Beard in a tough spot, does manage to fall there. Lots of damage coming up through that hallway. SVSU, not shabby amounts of damage, not at all. Going for a little bit of a cheeky flank here with this, with the Sigma. We're gonna take a bunch of damage. Vidi lining up a bunch of really good shots. Pure going up to fight.
We can see this Torbjorn has the welcome, or not the welcome mat. This is a thing,
It
it has the molten core. Oh, but unfortunately is not able to use it as he's taken down by Pure.
Tropic's just trying to get some damage up there. Pure Widow still on the high ground. Sigma's battle. There it is, the Baptiste Sojourn managing to get a 4K. I'm calling the SVSU 4. That I was calling it that in Valorant. It's gonna catch on. Just informing everybody. That's what we're doing it. That play of the game here from Grumpy Monkey. I believe this is gonna be what we just saw right at the end. Yup, with the Baptiste window goes down, pops ultimate, and just one shot to the body. Good stuff from Grumpy, just shot after shot, 100% accuracy, 4 for 4 right at the end there. Beautiful stuff. Like what they were trying, going for the Soldier and the Torbjorn, both get a lot of consistent mid-range damage, probably more so than Widow or Sojourn, but Widow and Sojourn have the ability to have high burst damage. They can get a bunch of damage all in one shot. Widow with the sniper rifle and Sojourn with the railgun.
We can very much see that in that last game there, that Widow definitely had the advantage on Emory due to the fact that they were playing more mid-range, more high damage in the short range that they wanted with that Junkrat and Soldier 76.
Of course, we saw for the entirety of the match, we saw Sigma very popular again on that map. There's a lot of corners that you can take, making sure to kind of play around cover when your shield goes down. And the Sigma versus Sigma matchup is really just trying to really protect your team. In a couple of matchups, you're really trying to brawl with each other. In a few, like the Roadhog matchup, you're trying to find a hook on each other sometimes. Orisa can be trying to crowd control the other Orisa if you're both playing that character. But Sigma, it's really more about your team. Neither Sigma really has the ability to kill each other, especially when they're at range, because the big play potential is hitting a rock on each other, and if there's a shield in the way, or if they're far enough away or they can dodge, very difficult for the Sigmas to kill each other. So that really is more about who can maybe take more space with their team and play around with them. And I think both teams did a really good job of that at different points in time. Both Beard and Nemo finding some really good plays throughout the majority of the match. Healers did a very good job. Vidi switching over to the Zen, interesting pick for him. I've seen him play that a couple of times, and I saw him getting some kills. That Zen is nothing to scoff at.
We can see that Zen coming out. I think their thought behind this was the fact that Emory liked to play that AoE kind of brawly, damage-dealing comp, and with that Zen, it allows him to throw multiple orbs around, just getting everybody healed, and also his ult provides a lot of use in deflection and value from that AoE kind of comp that they have.
Especially from all, I believe, the ults that Emory had. The Sigma ult will do some damage, but it won't really kill people right off the bat. The Soldier ult from Emory, that's, again, just kind of damage over time. You can't really go through that Zen ult. The pick from Vidi there really countered everything that they wanted to do. We didn't have many options here. As we can see, the next map going into game 4, SVSU up 2-1 versus Emory and Henry, New Queen Street. Now this is the push game mode. So there will be one robot in the middle. There will be a kind of a line that it can walk on, and both teams are trying to push it further into their opponent's territory. Whoever gets it farther will take the W. If they get it all the way to the end, then that is a win on the spot. This has been an interesting game mode. This is the new game mode for Overwatch 2. It's kind of replaced 2CP, and I think it can be very interesting. I like the team comp change-ups. We've seen only two kind of styles of game. We see either control an objective or move a cart or defend the cart. And this really does add something very new. From what I've seen, brawling, trying to play really beefy tanks that don't move around quite as much is usually pretty popular. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Junkrat, but on this map, there is a lot of high ground and flank potential for Sojourn. Of course, Sojourn being the Canadian representative for Overwatch, and New Queen Street being Canada, Toronto, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
To my knowledge, so that kind of works out. That the that character gets to be so good on this map. Yeah, in terms of others, I probably see Anna. There are a lot of long sight lines. Anna can perch herself up on a high ground and just kind of heal her team from afar, stuff like that.
Might see that Widow popping back out, especially with Pure. But looks like Pure was subbed out for Joe Pide and Pog, so we might be seeing that Soldiering more.
Seems that's kind of what SVSU's got here. They got Nemo pretty solidly in the tank role. It seems Vidi and Zippy really doing well in the support, and then they have about 3 DPS to switch around. All right, who's best for this map? They probably each player for SVSU, each of the 3 DPS players has specialty in what do we need? If you need a Widow, then you go Pierre. Joe Biden Pog, of course, was playing the Sojourn.
Yes.
So that's likely what we'll see. Maintaining their team throughout the majority of this, throughout the entirety of this match should be good for them. It is always maybe a little bit easier to keep in the flow if you're playing match to match, though it might be a little bit more taxing over time. Might be a little bit more taxing. Looks like we are about to go back in just a second here. About to get into the 4th match of the night.
Should be very exciting as we have seen that Emory really likes to brawl too, along with side SVSU. So it should be some interesting action to take place in this kind of rumble on push.
It's the robot moves pretty quickly in between the pillars, and then once he gets to the pillar, he will slowly push it, and each team's trying to push that barrier as far as it can go.
See that high ground coming into play with that tube right above where the robot is. Hello, look at the jolly
Hey, guy.
fellow.
Hello, robot.
Yes, but you can see the high ground right above it, as it is a very intrinsic point of contact, because you can fight on either side of it and then also jump over it and maybe see the echo coming in. Maybe you're
Ooh, a little bit of a Farah.
Looks-
Interesting. You got the eyes in the skies kind of character you can already see flying around for Emory. The other hand, SVSU going for a bit brawlier of a comp. Now we're finally seeing that Kiriko on the Orisa, Beard on the Ramatra for Emory. Lots should be interesting. Very different team comps, only sharing the Mercy between the two of them. This should be a fight. Get to see 9 different characters fighting out.
can see a lot of value of that fire coming out, with only Grumpy, the one hit scan character, able to consistently hit her. Might be interesting to see how they take out the Farah here.
It is hard to arc projectile to hit a character like Farah, and it's already causing a lot of damage, and Mercy, with her Guardian Angel ability, can fly and keep up, stay in the air, providing healing and a damage boost to the Farah. They're simply trying to ignore her for now, but they can't do so forever. Finally getting that first kill, though. Joe Biden finds one as well. It's going to be 4-4. Both losing some squishies. Both do have tanks, though.
There goes that
Vinny
Mercy.
finding 2. Nemo finding another. Going down there. Now that 120 headshot damage from Kiriko. And I mentioned squishies earlier. Most characters have 200 and are pretty easy to kill with so many abilities that do that much amount of damage. Reaper does have 250, so he's not quite as squishy. A little bit of lingo here, but he definitely can die pretty easily.
Can see Farah is charging up that ultimate, as she is already at 80%. Might see a certain play coming out here.
Does find the kill when they're not focusing her. She does just consistent damage. It's kind of hard to escape those rockets from above. Again, the only thing they really have to fight against this is Orisa, which can poke down a little bit, and the Sojourn, which can get some decent damage. But then you have a whole person on your team dedicated just that, and with the Mercy staying, keeping the Farah alive, it's kind of hard to get the damage as we see. Fine, I know we keep talking about this Farah, but look, it just finds kills. They've got to switch off and find something to deal with it.
Finds so much value, as SVSU is just trying to ignore it, trying to push, but unfortunately Farah just does too much damage for them.
Here we see the Ash come out for SVSU, finally managing. This is, I believe, Farah as a character is the most rock, paper, scissors. If you have a sniper, she just floats around up there and can be shot pretty easily. But if you don't, if you only have like shotgun characters, can't do anything to take her out. So she gets hard countered pretty easily, but also counter pretty fast. See a tank battle here on the point. Nemo and Beard battling it out between the Ramantra and the Orisa. Both characters can get brawly, get a lot of damage. Baptiste window coming in for Emory, trying to get as much demo. Nemo manages to stay alive for an absolutely ridiculous quantity of time. You see the Battle Mercy, the ultimate coming in, trying to get the kill as All Schmitty finds the closing shot there. In the back line, trying to find that kill with that sleep dart, doesn't quite get it, almost finds the kill there onto Viddy. He's gotta be careful. Now Viddy, of course, Anna does have the sniper rifle to hit scan, so is a healer, but can do some damage. Actually, one of the better healers for adding some pressure along with her DPS to that Pharah. He's gonna have to back off. See Nemo going out in the front line. Does have the Terra Surge. We'll see if he tries to get in there, get some damage. The Baptiste Lamp coming out pretty early. Yep, there's the Terra Surge. Probably gonna find a kill at least. At least lines up for the rest of SVSU. Ooh, the Pharah all knocking out.
Taken down.
Build it up quick, but it doesn't really do that much. Oh, on the high ground here, Grumpy finding everything he needs. Plenty of space and time just to shoot as does.
He's running around.
Great jukes. Soldier has the ability, a dash ability, so he can kind of dash around at extra speed and mix up his movement, staying alive a little extra.
See that Forest trying to just poke down the SVSU team right before they get to the robot.
Oh my gosh, Grumpy on the ropes has to grab that health pack. Has to back up all the way. The Ash Dynamite coming out, trying to smoke it out. Nemo fighting it out. The tanks really, it seems like DPS is going to do their thing, and tanks are going to battle on the front line with one of their healers, while the other helps with the DPS duel. See the far in the back line, finally managed to take it out. Joe Biden and Pog with the kill onto all. Schmitty, Grumpy fighting one on a Tropics. That'll be 5-3 for SVSU. On the back foot, there falls another 2 left alive for Emory in this team fight. Gotta back up, try not to give extra ult charge. When you're down, when there's only one of you left, you're not gonna build much ult charge, but you're gonna get plenty of the other team to kill you before you do pretty much anything.
SVSU just approaching the first little checkpoint there.
As you can see, the bot, the progress on the top as well as the numbers, SVSU have gotta get it at least as far to really stand a chance at getting it much further. The further you push it, obviously, the more you have to get the robot into their territory. If they get it into yours, you gotta get it further to start making progress again.
Got Peaceful coming out here along with the Soldier ult.
Oh, finds 2 right off the bat. That's so much damage. SVSU did manage to get it past, so Emory is going to have to get it a far distance before they try to get more progress. SVSU winning this match for now. There's plenty of time left as they simply try to back up, get a kill or 2 where they can, and maybe try not to stagger. It does look like Viddy will probably get staggered a little bit. Team will have to wait for him to respawn now. As you can see, the rest of the team is already back, but because Viddy died so late, they have to go wait for him. That is kind of a big reason not to kill somebody right off the bat. So you might just want to wait so he or they die at the unfortunate time. Joe Biden Pog does manage to find that kill there. He comes in with the dynamite, swinging this, managing to push up. Here comes the Ramantra ult, but I don't know if it's going to do much as well. Grumpy's all coming out. Ults from both sides, finding kills. Ramantra not getting anything that he wanted, being able to heal through that. SVSU doesn't lose almost anybody. The Mercy trying to get something. SVSU maintains control, doesn't let the bot get pushed far enough, and they are moving back. Here he comes. Look at that guy. He just pushes.
He's just happy to be there.
Pushes.
He's just walking.
He just pushes. What a guy. What a guy. I know, I want that guy on my team. I'm gonna say right now, Blizzard, please, make that a playable character. Make that the next tank. Make that the next tank. That'd be a good time. Oh, All Schmitty changing to Echo instead of Pharah, another flying character, but a lot quicker with a lot more burst damage. A little bit less consistent, but can definitely get picks a lot faster, kind of out of nowhere. Has a beam that does an insane amount of damage if the target is at less than half health. Nemo finding them though. Lots of pressure coming in from that Echo, but no kills as Nemo finds plenty. And she's cleaned it up here. Orisa can do a lot of damage if you just leave her alone. Between the spear and her primary fire weapon, just does so much work.
Now, Emory is staggered though, as Mercy's just now coming back online, pushing very deep into the Emory territory. Ramantra trying to do anything to stay in front, just keep that bot from getting pushed.
SVSU getting all the way to 92. I believe it is about 115 meters in total. So they're almost there. You don't often see it on push maps. It's normally who pushes it further. But Iron Joe Biden Pog finding 2 with the Bob ultimate, adds another person in the team pretty much. Adds a glorified Torb turret with about 1,000 health. And they're pushed all the way back. They do have some ults, Tropics, and the Mercy got their ult, but he's not going to be in a great spot. Tries to do it. Nemo finding plenty in these last couple team fights, been putting in absolute work for the team. The Ramatra with the Mercy ult, trying to keep everybody alive. Here comes Baptiste, trying to hold on just for as long as possible, but Nemo not dying. Grumpy managed to find it. They're trying to focus him, but they're not going to get him. Really don't want to focus in these fights, but they keep trying. Nemo gets the Terra Surge and the Nano Boost. That's going to be big. He finds the kill and a whole bunch of damage. Nemo just cleaning up the entire team. Grumpy and Joe Biden just free range as they all try to focus on Nemo's Orisa, but they can't do it. Echo coming out, trying to find the ult, just as a last-ditch effort, trying to find as much damage as possible, but not looking like it's going to work here. They're pushed back, but they don't have it. Schmitty does find the kill, but definitely doesn't. Does manage to get the Bob out right at the end. That is actually going to be huge for Emory as they push it back. Switching to the Tracer as well, a faster character, just trying to get out from spawn as quick as possible. But SVSU getting all the way to 120 meters. That is going to be almost impossible for Emory to come back from. Only 1:05 left on the clock. This is really their best shot, if only shot.
Now, to note for this game mode, as long as the enemy is still pushing this bot, even though it's not as far as SVSU, they get put into overtime and get enough time, or an unlimited amount of time, to push it the same distance.
As soon as SVSU takes it back, it's all over. They really got to make this push here as the time ticks down, and they're just kind of brawling it out. Not many kills. Nemo does find one. That's going to be really huge for them. The healer
coming into the back line.
Trying to find it, but plenty of heals coming in. Beer trying his best, but against that Orisa, again, stat monster, you just can't kill her. Only a little over 20 seconds left on the clock. Tropic's trying to find his way out as Emory's going to regroup as best they can with what time there's remaining, but they're not really going to be able to get anything. Probably only have about 2 or 3 characters that'll be able to contest this. Timer hits 10. They got to at least touch it within 3 seconds of the match ending to trigger the overtime. Coming out with an insane sleep dart from Vinny. Does go down, and they do get control. I saw their Ramatra ult there for a second. Looks like it didn't get any value. They gotta push it. It all comes down to this. If they lose control of the bot for a couple of seconds, it's all over.
And just has to keep the constant pressure on the bot, stick around it, and just slowly push up with it, as if they do overextend, it could lead to an unfortunate background accident.
I don't think they're gonna have much. SVSU has almost in all of their ults, although Schmitty finds 2, Vinny finds 1. It's going to be 4-3 Emory favor right now. 3-3. An insane sleep dart from Vinny! The Tracer, poor Tracer. Joe Biden finding something to do. Just a scramble, almost everybody's gone. On the cart, Ramatra's low. Nemo can't die. You can't kill this man! This fish, you can't kill. Joe Biden takes himself out, unfortunately, but that's gonna be it for SVSU. They can't find it. Emory goes down. That's going to be 3-1. SVSU favored, winning the match. Beautiful stuff from them. Huge plays. Vinny with 2 huge sleep darts in the last minute of the game. Nemo just slaughtering. Ramatra could not get anything that he wanted there. This is right at the end of that push that really won them the game. So many kills there. See Nemo with the incredible gameplay. Beautiful stuff from both teams. Honestly, Emory did not do terrible at all. They had some crazy stuff that Farah was giving them so much trouble. SVSU took a long time to respond to that, but really managing to come back once all the team comps settled out a little bit more. And it all kind of came to an end. I'm gonna go see. Maybe I can grab really quick.
Yep, we are going to be looking for a interview from one of the personal players, hopefully to give us some insight into what they were thinking and how the match went. Emory put up an excellent match as they matched SVSU almost at every point, not backing down from any fight that SVSU had, and put up a very nice grudge match against them. So a round of applause to both teams, as this was an amazing game. Very nice from both. And hopefully we do get back with one of the SVSU players and are able to give you guys an interview. We can see in the last few matches.
Looks like we got Vinny here from the team. Beautiful stuff. Take a seat right there, my big man. You got it. What incredible sleep darts at the end.
Oh, that was fun.
In the last minute of the match, finds 2 onto a Tracer. Oh my gosh, that was absolutely beautiful. What was going on that last match? That was absolutely intense.
Oh, they didn't play Kiriko, so until like the very end, so we got to play Ana, and an uncontested Ana just wins games. Like they didn't revert certain nerfs or certain buffs to her after Roadhog was OP, and so she's just busted.
You just busted.
Just a busted character.
Right here, folks. Now, normally a flank character like Tracer is what you do to deal with such a strong character that, like Ana, that's really slow, but does a lot of healing. But you just shut that out. You said no.
Nemo
No.
absolutely
Hits the skill. Hits the skill. That definitely helps. What were comms like? Surely there was a lot of yelling.
Yeah.
Uh,
Surely.
Yeah, we're very loud.
You're very loud. All right, give us the scoop. Who's the screamer?
What was the thing?
Who's the
It's
loud
Nemo.
one? Is it Nemo?
Yeah.
I
What was
feel
the
like it's
thoughts
Nemo. From what I've seen of
behind the
Nemo.
madness
You can half of my comments is just him yelling ram.
For some of the viewers, would you like to explain what RAM means?
Ram is just short for Ramatra.
Oh,
That's the enemy
just,
tank.
just calling out what they're.
Yeah.
Normally,
Calling a target
one
first,
of the call outs.
focus.
It's kind of hard to call out everything that's going on. So normally, just
Scream
when
the name.
you call out who you want to focus.
Yeah.
And if you want to focus Ramatra, you scream Ram.
Yeah.
So there you go. Anything else you got to note for the fans?
I don't know. We all played pretty well, I think.
I'll be pretty well.
Yeah.
I think that was a good match, 3-1, so no
True.
stop.
Yeah.
Good match from all the teams there. Had some difficulties maybe in the middle of the stream. Apologize for that, but glad we got to see as much of that as possible. Well, thank you very much, Vidi, for coming on.
Yeah,
Very
thanks,
much
Adrian.
appreciate that, and thank you everybody who came here out to the Student Life Center here at SVSU or watched on stream. We very much appreciate you guys supporting. Again, this is the first week here, first match for Overwatch, taking their win. Overwatch A team. We do have an A and a B team now.
Yes.
So that's very awesome.
Not
From-
exactly.
Not
For
exactly.
A and B, we had like 5 people that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. I know there's enough to
Yeah.
at least keep playing. Barely enough, which is exciting. Overwatch again came in late last semester, but they really are showing themselves to be really great competitors here. Thank you very much, everybody who came out. We hope to see you again. Our next match will be on Friday with the League team. You will also see the Smash Bros. A team going out in person to play with Northwood University on Friday. That'll be really cool at 5 o'clock. League playing at 8 will be the next 2 times. We will get out a channel for you to watch the Smash Bros. Games if you want to watch that first, and then switch over to League after that at 8 o'clock. Thank you very much to everybody, and have a very good night. Have a good night. Thank you much.